Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ben Wheeler, local real estate agent here in Balsam Lake, Wisconsin. Today I am with Scott Prindle from Loan Depot, and we're going to talk a little bit about getting pre-approved. It's a very important step in the process of becoming a homeowner. I'm going to let Scott introduce himself, tell you a little bit about himself, and then we'll just jump right in.
Hi, I'm Scott Prindle, Loan Depot, MLS 286282. I've been doing this for 26 years.
That is a minute.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of time.
Yeah, wow. All right, so pre-approval. Today's market, so it's springtime.
Yes.
We're starting to see things pick up a little bit.
Absolutely.
So there's more buyers coming to the table saying, hey, how do I buy a house?
Yep.
What's the first step they should take?
Really, honestly, the first step is they need to get a hold of a lender. So whether it be me or anybody else, you want to get a hold of a lender, find out what can you do, what programs are available. Is there zero down programs? Is there 3%? Is there 20%? And then at that point, once you know what can you do or what can't you do, then go look for houses that match what you're capable of doing.
Right, because you don't want to go look at a $300,000 house when you're only can afford a $250,000 house.
Or yeah, or it could even be worse than that, yeah.
Right, and then also going into different loan programs may not be good for certain properties.
Yeah, you could go to your local credit union or local bank and they're going to say, oh, we can get you a Freddie Mac loan or a Fannie Mae loan and it's going to be 20% down. And then you go talk to me or somebody else and says, well, you qualify for zero down. Any programs are available. It's just who are you talking to in order to figure out the programs that are available.
So what's the first step when it comes to getting that pre-approval? What do they need to have?
The very first step is putting the application in, then having a conversation with their mortgage lender, figuring out what programs. Once they figure out, once I figure out what exactly you can qualify for, I'm going to ask you for certain documents. So like pay stubs or taxes or anything to that effect.
Sure.
To prove what you said on the application.
Sure, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. Kind of, what's the time frame for getting pre-approved these days?
Like when should you do it? Right away.
Like
how fast does it take to get one?
Yeah.
Well, let's say it's 2:00 on a Friday. Depending on the lender that you're going to talk to, it could be a week. So it just depends on each lender you talk to. Myself, I work on a 24-hour turn time, or less. So like for me, let's say it is a Friday. Then at that point, it's going to be, do I have time to call them still today? If not, I'm going to try to get a hold of them Saturday. It just depends on that mortgage lender and what their schedule is.
That's after you get all the documents that you need to pre-qualify them?
It just depends on that mortgage lender, of course. So application. So like let's say I have a deal. And let's say you get a hold of me and say, hey, I got somebody that's going to apply. How fast can you get this back to me?
Yep.
Technically, the answer is 15 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
So because I could have them apply, do it, then from there, I give them a call, I run through all of the data, and then you give me the docs instantly while I'm still talking to you. I can look them over. You got your pre-approval.
Very nice.
Now, is that normal? No.
So it can happen.
It normally takes hours, not minutes.
So it can happen really quick, but you got to have your stuff together.
Correct. You have to be ready to go. So
if you have your pay stubs or your proof of income, all that
proof
stuff,
of income.
That's what you need to have. So once you get all that together, you can get that pre-approval.
Yep.
And you can start.
You could buy. Yeah. You could be looking at a house at noon and buying something at 1. But a lot of people like to go and say, well, I want to go look at houses. Well, the problem is you don't know if you can get that house. So they want to see that pre-approval letter to get you into the house.
Yeah. So we're actually seeing that a little more and more, how sellers are requesting that pre-approved buyers only come into their house because they don't want to open up the doors for just anybody.
Which makes sense.
It makes complete sense.
I'm not against it. It makes sense to me.
Yep, for sure. It makes sense.
I don't want somebody in my house that's not able to purchase it.
Right.
There's
no tire kickers, right?
Yeah,
that's what they
exactly.
say. So make sure you get that pre-approval. You can go search for houses, but that pre-approval is going to make it that you are a serious buyer. Because even if you saw the house, let's say it's on a Sunday, you saw the house, you love it, it's great, but you haven't gone through the steps of getting that pre-approval yet, and you want an offer on it, seller isn't even really going to take your offer seriously until you get that pre-approval that says, yes, you can afford this house.
And I see lots of that where people will be on a Saturday and they're saying, I'm looking at a house. And then they say, we need to get a pre-approval right away. It depends on the lender you're using. Once again, do they work on the weekend? Do they not?
Right.
So I work every day. So.
And if you need recommendations on a lender, I would be happy to recommend a local lender.
Yep.
I judge lenders by them answering their phones and how they work with their clients. And Scott is a great one. He works great with clients, and he's always available. So that's one thing that makes him a great lender.
Always working.
Always working. All right. So with that note, just make sure you get that pre-approval before you go out looking at houses. It helps everybody just up front, just to get it out of the way. And that way you know what your budget is and know what loan program you want to go towards. And you can start shopping and get one step closer to owning a house. So with that said, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Take care.